Hola people! So I'm doing my reading aloud exercise to increase creativity. Right, to nurture. Not increase, but nurture, so she can come out and play. So I will read aloud for 10 minutes. Stories. And the first story is about Samuel Morse, a man with ridiculous ideas. Samuel Morse, born 1791-1872, created the single-wire telegraph system and Morse code with Alfred Weil. Samuel Morse was a struggling portrait artist in 1832 when by chance he overheard a conversation about an experiment in electromagnetism. Intrigued by the concept, he adapted it to send messages over a wire using electricity. For the next 5 years, he worked to perfect his invention until in 1837 he applied for a patent for his electromagnetic telegraph in the United States and England. The patent was rejected in England because a similar device has already been introduced there, but he was awarded a U.S. patent in 1840. Morse also invented a method of conveying messages in which dots and dashes represented letters and numbers, better known as Morse code. In 1842, Morse demonstrated his device in front of several members of Congress in a failed effort to win funding to build a telegraph line. Oliver Hampton Smith, a U.S. Senator from Indiana, later recalled that his fellow legislators were not impressed by Morse's presentation. I was assured by other senators after we left the room that they had no confidence in it. After unsuccessfully trying to find other funding, Morse approached Congress again in 1843. Although many still considered his ideas ridiculous, and the last night of the congressional session, he was granted $30,000 to lay a telegraph line from Washington to Baltimore. On May 24th, 1844, he tapped out the first message. What has God wrought? Finally able to prove that his invention worked, Morse offered to sell his rights to the telegraph to the U.S. government for $100,000. When his offer was rejected, Morse formed the Magnetic Telegraph Company with several partners. In the first 3 months, the firm earned less than $200, while expenses exceeded over $1,800. Morse refused to quit and eventually began profiting from his invention as others scrambled to create their own telegraph companies. By 1861, a transcontinental telegraph system was established in the United States. 5 years later, the first successful transatlantic telegraph cable was developed. The telegraph allowed newspapers to cover significant world events quickly, revolutionized business, and for the first time created a global community. The only gleam of hope, I cannot underrate it, is from confidence in God. When I look upward, it calms any apprehension for the future, and I seem to hear a voice saying, "If I clothe the lilies of the field, shall I not also clothe you?" Here's my strong confidence, and I will wait patiently for the direction of providence. Samuel Morse. Isaac Newton. An unpromising student. Isaac Newton, born 1643 and who lived from 1643 till 1727, was a physicist, mathematician, astronomer, natural philosopher, and alchemist known for his descriptions of gravity and the laws of motion. Born prematurely, Isaac Newton had not been expected to survive. He did, but he encountered many other obstacles during his life. His father died before he was born. His mother eventually remarried, but Newton and his stepfather developed an instant dislike for each other. Newton was sent to live with his grandmother until he was 11. He went to school, but officials there reported that he was an unpromising student. His poor academic performance prompted his mother to bring him home to work on the family farm. Newton proved to be worse as a farmer than he had been a student. Thankfully, his uncle recognized potential in Newton and encouraged him to go to college. While there, Newton often pursued his own interests rather than complete his schoolwork. He also failed a scholarship exam because he did not understand geometry. Although he wanted to earn a master's degree, an outbreak of the bubonic plague forced him to return to the farm. It was here that Newton watched an apple dropped and wondered what had caused it to fall. This led him to pursue his groundbreaking work on gravity and motion. He also contributed to the study of light, developed a form of calculus, and built the first reflecting telescope. Newton was a physicist, mathematician, astronomer, alchemist, philosopher, and inventor. Today, he is often listed among the most intelligent people in history. An essential aspect of creativity is not being afraid to fall. Second quote of the day by Isaac Newton. So, who else? Ooh, Pablo Picasso. A madman at work. There was this Pablo. Picasso didn't wait to become Picasso to start painting. I love that quote. So, Pablo Picasso, a madman at work. Pablo Picasso, who lived between 1881 and 1973, was a Spanish painter, sculptor, and one of the co-founders of Cubism. When Pablo Picasso was 10, his father yanked him out of school because he was barely able to read or write. A tutor hired to teach the boy quit soon after because he believed that Picasso refused to learn. Picasso did not want to study academics. He wanted to paint. He eventually went to Madrid to study at the Academia de San Fernando. But he left after less than a year and moved to Paris, where he tried to earn a living as a painter. During this time, he was so poor that he often burned his paintings to stay warm. Ironically, paintings from this period, referred to as Picasso's Blue Period, are now among his most popular works. Around 1907, Picasso began developing an innovative new style of painting. Others in the art world were not impressed. Ambroise Vollard, a French art dealer, told him, "It's the work of a madman." Painter and sculptor Georges Braque remarked, to paint in such a way was as bad as drinking petrol in the hopes of spitting fire. Picasso, unaffected by these comments, kept on painting. Braque eventually changed his mind about Picasso's work, and together they co-founded Cubism, an important and influential art movement. Although Picasso's work became popular, While he was alive, he still had most of his paintings in his possession when he died because he sold paintings only when he needed money. Picasso produced approximately 30,500 paintings. Today, several of his works are among the highest selling pieces of art. Picasso's painting Garçon à la pipe became the sixth most expensive painting in the world when it sold for more than $104 million in 2004. Another 7 of Picasso's paintings have also ranked in the top 25 most expensive. And the third quote of the day is: Oh, la inspiración existe. La inspiración existe, pero tiene que encontrarle trabajando. La inspiración existe, pero tiene que encontrarte trabajando. Translation: Inspiration exists, but it has to find you working. By Pablo Picasso. So, the nurturing of creativity by reading loud, it's done. See you tomorrow. Bye bye.